came and said, like, there's a lot of that's government-based going on.
Then I'm going to get declared a suppressive person and labeled an enemy. Your only person that you could talk to in the church is the person who deals with refunds, but they can't talk to you because you're declared an enemy to the church. So they're holding millions and millions of dollars of people's money.
You spoke about Scientology.
Yeah.
Does that have to do with anything with the Illuminati, or is that just separate entity?
They're separate entities, but they work in tandem.
Right.
Diddy's home was reportedly more than just a party spot. According to some, it served as a key location for Scientology-related gatherings, especially for people like Jada Pinkett Smith and others involved in the church. When it comes to exposing these kinds of behind-the-scenes truths, Jaguar Wright doesn't hold back. She's the one bringing raw, unfiltered insight to light. One of the more explosive claims surfacing during Diddy's ongoing legal troubles is that he frequently hosted Scientologists at his residence, where they allegedly held freak-offs and even participated in secretive rituals. She even claims they tried to recruit her, and after she resisted, the message her late son had left for her mysteriously disappeared. Still, Jaguar refuses to be silenced. She's pulling back the curtain on what she says is a disturbing alliance, one where Diddy and his inner circle allegedly leverage Scientology not just for spiritual reasons, but as a tool for control, wealth building, and influence over high-profile individuals. So here's the big question. How do they keep all of this hidden in plain sight? And more importantly, is Jaguar Wright putting herself in danger by telling the truth? Let's dig in.
Big, gaudy, Masonic-looking thing. You know? It's all right, architecturally wise, but what gets really interesting about it is when the sun goes down, they turn the lights on, blood red, pure blood red. The whole building glows in pure blood red. I don't know, man. It just feels disturbing to me. You put this thing up that looks like some kind of Masonic monument, where Biggie Smalls was to that. And at night, you thought that the color should be blood red. I don't know.
It's becoming increasingly clear that Diddy has deep ties to the Scientology community. As a long-standing member of Hollywood's inner circle, he's built connections across nearly every corner of influence, from politics to entertainment. Some of those connections, notably, are with high-profile Scientologists. One of the most obvious examples, his relationship with the Smith family. Both Will and Jada Pinkett Smith have long been linked to the Church of Scientology, even if they've stopped short of fully confirming their involvement. They are actually members of Scientology, but they seem to practice and promote its teachings in every area of their lives. In fact, many former members of the church have reported seeing Jada at Scientology centers, especially the ones in LA. Actress Leah Remini, who left Scientology and now speaks against its teachings. In her book Troublemaker, Surviving Hollywood and Scientology, she spilled some serious beans about it and disclosed that she used to frequently meet Jada at church. Leah also remembered an odd evening at Tom Cruise's home while she was a member of Scientology. Tom, another well-known Scientologist, had forced the Smiths to play a strange game of hide and seek. Leah said, "At first I thought he was joking, but no, he literally wanted to play hide and seek with a bunch of grown-ups in what was probably close to a 7,000 square foot house on almost 3 full acres of secluded land." Leah claims that when she declined to participate in the game, Tom came up to her and said, "Well, good, so you're it then," and tagged her before bolting away. In a subsequent interview with the Daily Beast, Leah discussed this peculiar encounter and defended her earlier assertions that Jada was a Scientologist. She said, "I know Jada's in. She's been in Scientology a long time." Leah added, "I never saw Will there, but I saw Jada at the Celebrity Center. They opened up a Scientology school and have since closed it. But Jada, I had seen her at the Scientology Celebrity Center all the time." However, Jaguar claims that because they were aware that Leah had evidence that may destroy the Church of Scientology, they attempted to muzzle her. Jaguar also implied that the church collaborates with other cults, such as the Illuminati, to spy on and protect one another.
You spoke about Scientology.
Yeah.
Does that have to do with anything with the Illuminati, or is that just separate entity?
They're separate entities, but they work in tandem.
Right.
They spy on each other's people for each other.
Right.
You know, if they don't want to make it look like they're stalking one of their, defectees. They'll ask somebody from TMZ to do it for them. Oops, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that out loud, allegedly. Harvey. They farm it out, make it seem like it's just paparazzi stuff when they're actually doing investigation. And Scientologists, they're relentless. A lot of people farm out their gaslighting work to them for a profit. That's LA.
According to reports, Jada and Will also make significant investments in everything associated with Scientology. And as you are well aware, one of the reasons Scientology has such adequate funding is because of celebrity investments. To transform public education and make learning enjoyable for children, they founded the New Village Leadership Academy. The unspoken aspect, however, is that the educational strategies used at the institution were taken from Scientology. For instance, the school employed a teaching strategy called Study Technology, which was created by Church of Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard. Additionally, a large number of its employees were Scientologists, including the Director of Learning, Director of Qualifications, and Artistic Director. The school was eventually quietly closed after parents learned of its close ties to the Church of Scientology and how their children were being brainwashed with Scientology beliefs. However, Jada continued to use these techniques in her educational endeavors, and it has been acknowledged that she studied Dianetics, a concept based on Scientology and created by Ron Hubbard. According to Hubbard, Dianetics is a collection of auditing or counseling techniques that have significant therapeutic effects and assisted people in overcoming their trauma. Often referred to as Book 1 by Scientologists, Hubbard's book Dianetics, The Modern Science of Mental Health, is regarded as one of his most significant works. The term engram is used in this book to refer to both emotional and physical pain, ranging from cancer and diabetes to dermatitis, allergies, migraine headaches, and arthritis. It also asserts that it is aware of the causes and treatments for all neuroses, psychosomatic diseases, and other conditions, with assertions that are untrue and may even be detrimental to those looking for real relief from their medical or mental illnesses. Critics have disproved this book as pseudoscience. Now, Jada has always discussed meditation and connecting with her shadow and soul. When Jay Shetty remarked in an interview that he thought he knew her from a previous life, she responded, "Yeah, it's possible." She then went on to talk about her ego and how people need to accept their shadows.
I don't have the ground under my feet in the way in which my ego wants, but what I have learned is that the ground under my feet is that of a higher source. That's the only ground to walk.
However, it appears that she learned all of these lessons from Dianetics. Additionally, they have aspects of mind control. Even though they are not bad in and of themselves, insiders claim that these mind control techniques are one of the ways Jada attracts young men to her in the guise of mentoring, only to utilize them in freak-off parties for Scientology rituals they did not agree to. During one of her interviews, Jaguar Wright pointed out Diddy's involvement in this as well.
They're both bisexual, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house fucking screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bashir Gray, left that house fucking screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick, he needed a dog.
In order to keep so many women with him for so long, Diddy has also been accused of employing mind control techniques on his victims. Not only are some of the witness statements in the ongoing Diddy trial unsettling, but they are simply horrifying. Cassie described how Diddy forced her to have freak-offs for days on end, sometimes for as long as 4 days, because physiological fluids like pee, semen, and even blood could be present during the freak-offs. Diddy would ask his crew to provide extra sheets for the rooms. That is not all, though. Additionally, Diddy would give the male escorts instructions to urinate in Cassie's mouth, and even when she laughed, they would continue. In addition, he would tell the escorts to finish on her before he led her to a different room and rubbed his nipples with the men's semen. To be honest, discussing Diddy's numerous transgressions against Cassie in detail would likely result in the removal of this video. She had to get cosmetic surgery to repair her face after being beaten so severely, and had to take drugs that made her feel euphoric in order to block out the sensations of the abuse she was receiving during the freak-offs.
It is disturbing, bro. It's disturbing that he could brainwash her to the point whereas that she believing that she pleasing him and all his fetishes and everything by doing some that she's doing for him, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, she testified that Diddy, he'll rub male escorts on his nipples. That's crazy, man.
Bro, what do you want me to say about that? You know, that's some nasty, perverted you know what I'm saying? Bro, when you that high and you into that, to me, that's the demonic, bro. That's some old crazy otherworld excuse me for my language, that's some crazy otherworld stuff that people in their right minds don't even think of stuff like that, bro.
Even though Diddy has never publicly said that he's a Scientologist, there have long been rumors about his membership in the organization, so it is not surprising that he would be amenable to all of this. You may recall Jonathan Addy, former escort, saying he got paid to participate in Diddy's freak-off. While Jonathan was under police interrogation, he revealed that Diddy was part of something called the Boule, or the Black Illuminati, and that he had ties to key players in politics through his lawyers, Mark Garagos and Ben Meisalas. This is where it becomes even more dubious. Ashton Kutcher, Diddy's close friend, and his wife, Mila Kunis, have also been intimately associated with Scientologists, particularly their best friend, Danny Masterson, who is currently serving a 30-year prison sentence for several women. Ashton and Mila wrote to the judge during Danny Masterson's trial, claiming that Danny was a character mentor or something like
I'll Google it. Yeah, the substance.
He went right back to Mila, though. He went right back to where he wanted to be.
You know, age appropriate.
Not even age appropriate. Was that your Illuminati assignment?
Damn. Damn.
And then there's the Danny Masterson connection too. Who Vlad, if I am correct, and Ashton Kutcher both vouch for. These are weird people.
So, Jay, let me ask you.
The question is how does Vlad make it on to Pierce Morgan and none of his very nefarious comes up? You're being promoted by child pedo people. You're doing business with child pedo people. You are co-signing child pedo people and you're not one.
They released a phony apologetic video in which they were clearly speaking from a script and clearly just wanted to get it over with, when it was revealed that they were pleading for a lower sentence for someone who had manipulated several women. The problem is that prior to Danny's incarceration, there were rumors that he was associated with Diddy through Ashton Kutcher, who is essentially Diddy's best friend.
It was really bizarre. So it started over punked, because he was like, yo, don't punk me. Can't punk me. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Everybody's on the table. He's like, not me, I'm off the table. And so that started our conversation. We became fast friends, and we used to just hang out, watch football together. And he came over, and I was like, I'm going for a run. He's like, oh, I'll go for a run with you. And so he comes over to go for a run. About halfway through the run, he's like, yo, I'm running out of gas right now. But we had like paparazzi all around us at the time. He's like, you gotta slow down but make it look like you're not slowing down. Because he had to I don't want to look like I'm not gonna be able to finish this thing. And he was losing it, right? Like he was like me right now with the wings and the heat starting to kick up. And he's like, and so we finish out the run. And then he was so upset over the fact that he got skunked on this run.
According to rumors, Danny used to receive invitations to Diddy's freak-off parties, where he held parties and shared notes on Scientology practices. Many individuals think that Diddy gave Danny some of his hints regarding graping ladies. For instance, it was revealed during his trial that Danny frequently added GHB to his victims' drinks. GHB is the same substance that was purportedly discovered in Diddy's seized baby oil and lube. It can also be absorbed via the skin. Before going through freak-offs, he supposedly used to give them to Cassie and other women. That is not all, though. You see, around 2001, a few years after Ashton Kutcher and Diddy became buddies, Danny began to hang out with Diddy. His purported SA cases against other women also began at this period. According to those who had previously seen Danny's home, it was simply a typical home with a typical security system. By 2007, though, when Danny was attempting to sell the house, this had altered. Reports said that the house had essentially shrunk to the size of Diddy's estate. I came upon an article that, to put it mildly, described some of the items that were in Danny's home. According to the article, a look inside Danny Masterson's home, this guy loves his Scientology. Nearly every room had a plaque of affirmation, or whatever they call them, books on the subject, etc. And get this, the article also added, this guy loves his surveillance. Forget exterior cameras, par for the course in celebrity-owned Hollywood Hills houses. There are 17 interior cameras planted club style in those smoked glass orbs in every room. From the control grid in his safe room and master closet, Danny can keep an eye on who is coming and leaving around the house. Tell me though, this does not sound like it was lifted straight from Diddy's manual on being a freak-off master. Diddy had a full view of everything that was going on at the mansion at any given moment, thanks to the dozens of cameras that the feds discovered in practically every room and bathroom during their raid. This was useful for recording and storing footage of celebrities in precarious situations for use as blackmail material at his wild parties. And you know what? In Scientology, this is also a normal procedure. In actuality, Diddy's entire strategy involves controlling and manipulating people, separating victims from others, monitoring them, and instilling fear in order to win their loyalty. Everything is found within the Scientology group. Scientology separates its adherents from what they refer to as repressive persons, which is essentially anyone who casts doubt on the religion, including relatives and family.
They have a policy called fair game that they claim has been canceled, and they in fact did issue another policy that says fair game has been canceled. However, there's another policy that says, however, dealing with suppressive people remains the same. Dealing with suppressive people means to go after them, try to destroy their lives, try to find any crimes they've committed, expose them hard. You can lie about them. They have Scientologists picketing in front of people's houses going, don't trust your neighbor, implying that he's a sexual deviant. They go after your jobs. And when that doesn't work, they go after your family.
Members are gradually persuaded to cut off all significant others in their lives until they are totally alone and dependent on the Scientology group for family and friendship. Regarding Jaguar Wright, she has voiced her opinions about Scientology over the years. But here's the twist. In her recent interview, she talked about how she was approached by certain members of the elite who tried to convince her to join them in exchange for millions of dollars. The caveat was that she would have to start promoting their misinformation instead of speaking the truth. But Jaguar instructed them to push their money where the sun doesn't shine and insisted that she would continue to expose them. And what did they do to her in response? They unalived her son.
They're not worried about the truth. They're worried about what they can do to profit from it. That's why I am the way I am. Most people who know me, who ever done work with me, I'm not a money hound. I'm not sitting there, hey, give me this and you better give. No, I only ask people to pay for my time. The truth is free. Should be. I'm smarter than all of these people and they know it. But
what do you have to lose? Like, what do you have to lose? If
my
this
son's legacy. My son died because he was my son.
However, Jaguar claims that the death of her son just motivates her to continue speaking out because she is aware that if she does not, there will be one fewer person who is not compensated to sway public opinion and spread the propaganda that the ruling class wants her to.
I started doing what I'm doing, and I knew where I was going with it. I knew I was gonna have to divorce myself from all human everything. Because that's how they get you. They get you with the human shit. With the family, with the friends, with the money, with the cars, the job. The umbrella package for your retirement. That kidney your mom needs. That liver your daughter has that's failing it. You gotta remove yourself from all of that because you can't be influenced by anything. That's why I don't talk money with anyone. That's why I'm so grateful that God brought Odell, because he gives a about the details. I can't. I can only care about the truth. My relationship is to the truth and making sure that the truth gets to where it goes. If I am corruptible in any way, how can I ask anybody to believe me implicitly?
That's right.
And the truth is, if I was down for the fuck shit, I would already be a trillionaire by now. Because the shit that I am and the shit that I can do, the level that I could have gone to, if I was down for the cruelty, well, Jay-Z would be afraid of me.
But it also meant that Jaguar continued to suffer the repercussions. She would be followed, arrested on false pretenses, and threatened by strangers who would show up at her residence at random. However, if you know anything about Jaguar, you know that she never lets those who have something to hide silence her or bully her off the internet. But how do you feel about all of this? How do you feel about Jaguar being singled out for revealing the practices of Scientology? After leaving a comment below, watch this subsequent video.